All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys all for jumping on tonight. As I said, it's a little bit of a smaller group today, but I understand because people are celebrating Christmas early. I get it. Hopefully, we will have a lot of people listening to the recording, though, because we have some good information coming today. I'm not going to talk as much because, as you can tell, I don't talk very well since I just had my mouth surgery 2 days ago. I'm like drooling as I'm talking. Shoot. So I'm going to do less talking and let Ashley do the talking. But before we start letting her talk, I'm going to go ahead and screen share. And we're just going to go over a few shout outs. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. All right. As we start with our shout outs every week, we do have a couple new Emerald coaches. So Lauren Krull, Sasha Farmer, and Jess Gemino are our newest Emerald. So congratulations, ladies.
Yay.
Yay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You're good. And then we have our top producers. We have Lauren Penrose at 6:30, Megan Blanca at 5:13, Lori Schustrick at 4:20, Cheryl Isola at 3:68, Andrea Youngblood at 3:60, Erin Trail at 3:38, and Brittany Pavlik at 3:30. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Top producers, guys, if you are not familiar with that, that is your personal volume, your personal orders along with your customer orders. So if you order your Shakeology, you order the ham and chisel. Maybe I'm hungry. I don't know. Hammer. Don't make me laugh. Hammer and chisel, that will count towards your PV. So that's where that number comes from. And we always want to shoot for 500. That's a really good goal that I recognize people 300 and up, but it is really nice to shoot for 500. It's just a great number that I was always taught to go for. So why not? Let's keep that going. All right. Next, we have our Success Club. We have a few people at Success Club 5 and above. We have Melissa Chavez at 9, Katie Tersha at 6, Vanessa McLaughlin at 6, Kara Curtis at 6, Sarah Carter at 6, and Michael Gowan at 5. Awesome, awesome job. And then we have a ton of coaches at Success Club 4, a couple at 3, a bunch at 2, and 1. Guys, I do recommend you trying as hard as you can to shoot for at least minimum Success Club 5 before Christmas because, like I say, people are going to start checking out about 2 days before, maybe a little bit sooner, as we can tell by the number of people on the call. But your customers are going to do the same thing. They're going to be checking out a couple days before Christmas because they're getting ready. They want to spend time with their family. They're finishing cooking and baking and wrapping presents and doing all the good fun stuff. So make sure that you are reaching out to all of your potentials now, getting them signed up so they're ready to go. Also, after Christmas, it is going to pick up a lot, I should say, because people are going to be feeling yucky and bloated and just ready to kick off the new year. Because I don't want you to wait until after Christmas because you're only going to have a little bit of time left until that next month rolls around and we have a new year. So please make sure that you are reaching your goals beforehand so you are making sure that you are set with Success Club. And if you are not sure what Success Club is, this is just a recognition Beachbody gives you to show the lives that are changing. So as you're getting Success Club points, that means you are helping people and you are changing lives. So the numbers come from challenge packs and Shakeology and Home Direct. 2 points per challenge pack, which is a fitness program, nutrition guide, and your first month of Shakeology and Home Direct. And then you get 1 point for Shakeology and Home Direct. You do not get any points if it is just Shakeology times 1 or just a fitness program. So make sure when you are getting people started that they are getting set up with a challenge pack, which gives them everything they need to get started on their fitness journey. And I already talked a little bit about hitting Success Club before. Guys, if you are working this business and you want success out of this, please make sure you are making minimum Success Club 5 non-negotiable. That is helping 3 people every month. 3 people is not a lot to ask for. If you are doing those vital behaviors every day and you are reaching out to at least 3 to 5 people every day, there is no doubt you should be hitting Success Club and at least getting 3 people on board.
That's wireless unlimited talk, text, and data for just $40 a month.
Mute a couple people. Okay, there we go. I don't know who was singing in the background there. All right, so if you guys are not aware, we have some monthly promotions. We have the hammer and chisel. The challenge pack is $160. And the kickstart is $180, and that includes the 3-day refresh. It's our brand new program. There should be no reason you guys cannot get people started and on board with this. If they already have a program, they've already used one, give them the opportunity to get started with the hammer and chisel. It's pretty darn amazing. And yeah, it kicks your butt. Even though I haven't done it in 2 days. I'm going to kick my own butt here in the next day or so. All right. Upcoming events and groups. We have December 30th. I wanted to wait to have this just because people are checking out. So our live 2-hour event for Beachbody coaching, we're not doing that 5-day sneak peek. We're doing a 2-hour live event. So we have a few coaches speaking and giving their video, and we're all going to be in this event together, being able to ask questions and just be all together. And it usually works out really, really well that way. We had a great turnout with the last one. We had tons of people on. People were being active in the group. So we're going to do that again December 30th, and it's going to start at 8:30. I didn't put that on here, but 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to have it. And then January 4th, if you guys are new to this business and you don't have a challenge group or you're not sure if you're ready to do it by yourself, January 4th, I'm going to be hosting my next challenge group. You guys are more than welcome to join me if you do not have anyone who is going to co-run with you. I am going to make it a 21-day group. Now, if there's someone who wants to do hammer and chisel or another program, I'm still going to say go ahead and join it. I'm just letting you know it's a 21-day group, so I will have them get into the next group if that 21 days is up. But I'm not going to tell anyone they cannot be in it. And then January 8th is our Super Friday, and January 9th is our Dream Team training in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. People are flying in. I don't know if Ashley is on the call, but I know she is coming in from, Ashley Roberts is coming in from St. Louis. We already got her flight booked, and there are tons of other coaches that are flying in that are on the Dream Team. I'm really, really excited. Make sure if you have the opportunity, you come, because we have the CEO, Carl Deichler, coming in, and it is going to be a blast. And we are going to have a party Saturday, which is really cool because you get to dress up really cute and have fun and mingle and dance and sing and drink. So it's fun. All right, cool. Do you like this, Ashley? Yeah. All right. So now I am going to be letting Ashley talk. Ashley is actually not a part of our team. Ashley, whose team are you on? You're part of the Bombshell, right?
I'm on Megan Robinson's team.
Ah, okay. So Ashley is a 1-star diamond, soon to be 2-star. Like, she's getting mad about it. She's going to be 2 stars soon. But she started in January of 2015, so she has come a long way in a very short period of time. She's also a soon-to-be mommy. You're having a girl, right? She's having a little girl. That's so exciting. And she is also in school, so there are other coaches on our team that are in school, and I just want everyone to know that there's no excuses. Although she is busy, she is still getting it done. So she is going to be talking about some tips and tricks for mastering social media. She actually talked at our 3 Vital Behavior training with Kim Carver, and she was in my little group where we got to know each other, and she blew my mind. So obviously I was like, she needs to talk on our call, because she blew me away with how she speaks. And I know a lot of people listen to Katie Ursa talk, and she's really, really good. And when I heard Ashley talk, I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's right up there with Katie. So I hope that doesn't scare you. Awesome. Oh, Laura, congratulations. I didn't even see that. Congratulations, girl. All right, cool. So Ashley, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk.
Okay, all right, let me pull up my presentation here. All right, so I am so honored to be here with you all tonight. I know that you guys are an elite team, so you're all super successful, and you're probably like, who is this nobody here? But hopefully I will share one thing, at least one thing, that you can take away and start implementing to grow your social media and to grow your business. So a little bit about me. I have had a transformation. My husband and I have each lost over 60 pounds, but now I'm putting it back on because I'm pregnant. We are world travelers. We've been all over the world, including China and Thailand and all kinds of crazy places. And we have 2 pugs. So if you check me out on social media, you'll see those things. But I do work a full-time job as an instructional coach for a statewide cyber school. So I basically teach teachers how to teach online. And that job requires frequent travel. I, as Deidre said, am a full-time doctoral student. I am taking 2 courses per semester year-round, and I'm actually writing my dissertation right now, hoping to be finished by the summer. And interestingly, they have allowed me to focus on Beachbody. So I am looking at how to build self-efficacy within challengers. And self-efficacy is the belief and the confidence that you can achieve your goals. And so I'm using Bandura's social cognitive theory, which encompasses 4 main components, which are perfect for Beachbody. It's self-efficacy, outcome expectations, social support, and self-regulation. So maybe when I finish and defend, I'll come back in the summer and share my findings with you. I'm pregnant, and so while doing all of those things, I have been building my business. So my time is very limited. I do have a very eager team. I recruit a lot of teachers who are just as ambitious as I am, and so they tend to be kind of needy. So I don't have a lot of time to be spending on creating these beautiful posts and PicMonkey or doing all of these crazy things. So I'm going to share with you how I manage to post on multiple platforms and stay sane while doing it. So this is kind of what drives me, and I wanted to start with this. So Improvement Science. I read this book a few years ago, and I do not recommend that you buy it because it's literally like this thick and rather boring. I'm going to give you the main points right now. So the main point is every system is perfectly designed to deliver the results it produces. So if you are not happy with the results you are achieving as a coach, you need to step back and look at your system because it's probably flawed. You need to be constantly going through these PDSA cycles, plan, do, study, act. And we typically all do plan and do. We do the first 2, and we just keep replicating that. But what happens is we don't actually stop to look at our results. We don't study our analytics. And so I have a lot of coaches who say, well, my like page isn't working and Instagram's not working for me. And I ask them questions and they have no idea what performs well and what doesn't. So you need to stop whatever you're doing and look at the results that you are achieving and decide how you can implement changes that are going to yield improvement. So I am constantly looking at the Google Analytics on my website, looking at my Facebook insights and trying to figure out what the best times to post are and what words and tags I should be using. So as I'm going through this presentation tonight, you may say, well, I already know that. I'm already doing that. But I encourage you to stop and to go through those 2 last components, the studying and the acting. Self-evaluate. Is there room for improvement? Is there a way that you can do this and improve your effectiveness? Okay, so I want to start with personal branding because social media, branding is the foundation of social media. Every time you post is an opportunity to market yourself. So you really need to do some soul searching and decide who you are and how you want to represent yourself. I see a lot of new coaches sign up and immediately start acting and trying to post just like their upline sponsor, and it doesn't work. You need to be you. And a part of that is being consistent. So you're branding yourself. Think of Pepsi, think of Beachbody. They do a great job of branding. So you need to be consistent. I always use the same filters. And the other night I was posting a photo on Instagram and my husband said, "Oh, use this filter. Look, it looks all vintage and cool." And I'm like, yeah, but that's not me. That's not what I would post. So if you see another coach post and use this cool filter, don't feel like you should use it too. Does that really represent you? Colors. I have my logo there. It's teal, gray, and white. And I have those color codes saved. If you go to my website, those are the colors you see. If you see my images that I post typically, those are the colors you'll see. So I am consistent. I want to be a scroll stopper, but I also want people to immediately see an image and associate my name to that image without really having to examine it. And I'm very consistent with the text that I use as well. Now, here's how I manage what I'm posting, when I'm posting it, how I'm posting it. My editorial calendar. So I will be frank with you, 98% of my posts are pre-planned and pre-written. And so some people think I'm crazy for doing this, but I have to do this in order to be able to get it all done. So here's an example. Every morning I post a workout photo or a Shake-O photo if it's a rest day. But I don't wake up and say, oh, what am I going to post? Like, what picture am I going to take? I already know exactly what I'm going to post. So on Sundays, I sit down. Sundays are my planning days. And I look at my workout calendar and I write out the content that I am going to post on my personal page and on my like page every single day, depending on what workout I'm doing. And I only vary the content on those two pages for my morning workout. For the rest of the day, it's the same exact content on both pages. It's just staggered in time. But I do vary the content for the morning. So I sit down and I'm like, okay, I know Monday's total body cardio, Tuesday's an arm day, so I got to talk about building strong arms, Wednesday's leg day. And so what that does is when I wake up in the morning, I can simply copy and paste it. It's already written, and I know exactly what type of photo I need to take. And I don't spend my entire workout being like, oh my gosh, should I take this photo? What should I do? So here's an example. So this was from a Wednesday for lower body fix. On my personal page, I wrote about how, my husband and I both have big thighs and this baby's going to have big thighs. So it's time to, work our thighs. So I knew, okay, I have to take a picture of both of us showing off our thighs. But on my like page, I tweaked it slightly and said, working for some strong legs to carry the bump around. So I knew that I had to take a picture that showed off my stomach and my legs. So that may seem crazy to you, but that's what really helps. It saves me so much time in the morning because I can just copy and paste. And I'll show you visuals of this in a moment. And I do that with my blog too. So I have an editorial calendar. I know exactly what I'm going to be posting every day, pretty much for a few weeks. And so I can constantly, when I get a chance to write, whether I'm just like at a red light on my phone, when something comes to my head, I'll go in and in my notes, I'll start writing. And then I'm constantly working on all of these blog posts, whenever you get time. So every day at noon and at 4 p.m., that's my next posting time, I will post one of these four things, either a blog post, a challenge group ad, a coaching opportunity, invite, or a team recognition. So I post one of those to my personal page at noon. And as soon as I post it, I copy and paste it and I schedule it to my Facebook like page for 4 p.m. So I always know what's going to happen at noon and at 4 p.m. And then in the evening, I post something about my personal life. Maybe it's something about my dogs or my husband or food. And so here I'm really strategic about this. So on Tuesdays, I usually post a recipe to my blog, but I'll make that recipe Monday night. And I'll post the picture on Facebook. And so people will be like, oh, that looks so good. Where can I get the recipe? And I say, oh, it'll be on the blog tomorrow. Check it out. So I'm building that anticipation so that on Tuesday when I post the blog, people are already looking for it. And then I make these funny little images that kind of represent my personality, my style, and I make those in PicMonkey and make them super simple, no graphics. It's usually just gray, white, and teal. But I schedule those to my like page because when I started my like page, I just like didn't know what to post there, and I still kind of struggle with what to post there. But at least I have one of these scheduled for every single day, and it just shows my personality, kind of attracts that vibe. You're probably wondering, okay, where do you get these kind of ideas for these little images? So let me show you my favorite hack. Now, have you ever been on Instagram and you're on your phone and you see this image and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, I want to post that, but you can't save it from Instagram on your phone, and then you Google search it and you can't find that image and you're like, oh, I really want this, like whether it's good for your challenge group or for, you know, your personal social media. So here's how you can actually find that image on Instagram and save it. So Deidre, I'll send you this PowerPoint and then you can share it with your team because I have the directions written out and I have screenshots. So I'm going to skip the written directions. You can go back to those. Here's the screenshot. So what you want to do is you want to go to your computer and you want to go to Instagram and you want to go to that person's profile. So www.instagram/that handle. So I love this profile. I always follow this one. So here I want this Robert Downey Jr. image down here. So I'm going to click on it. Once I click on it, it opens up for me. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the image and then that little box will pop up and you want to click on View Page Source. Once you do that, a page of code comes up and you're like, whoa, what do I do here? So you just hit Control F, or if you're on a Mac, Command F, and that little box at the top pops up, type in JPG. You're going to search for JPEG and hit Enter. And so everywhere on that page where JPG is, JPEG, it's going to be highlighted in orange. So you're going to look for that and you're going to find the hyperlink. So where it starts with HTTPS, I have it highlighted here. It's going to be in quotation marks. Ignore the quotation marks. Only copy the link within the quotation marks. Starts with HTTPS, ends with JPG. Copy it, paste it into the browser, and boom, the original image pops up, and you can then save it. So I always save it to my Dropbox because I have Dropbox on my phone, I have it on my computer, and I can access it from any device. So that's my little Instagram hack. When you find an image and you love it, but you can't find it on Google Images, this is how you can take it. All right, so here are some posting guidelines. I live by these and I teach my team this. If I were to go to your profile, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, and I look through the last 5 to 8 posts, would I know that you are a coach? Because sometimes I do this and I don't know. Like there's nothing about coaching or eating healthy or working out or being positive or anything like that. And that's not a good sign. Most importantly, am I seeing you? I do not want to see bags of Shakeology or 21 Day Fix DVDs. People go to Amazon to shop. I don't want to see a bunch of inspirational quotes because I go to Pinterest to be motivated and inspired. So avoid the stock photos and really put you in as many photos as you can. You know, if you find a great circuit workout on Pinterest where it's like do 10 jumping jacks and 8 burpees and 5 sit-ups, well, take a picture of yourself and then put that text over top of you so you are still in the image and you are selling that kind of workout. And in the book, 6 Months to Six Figures, he says that in order to increase your income, you need to add value to the marketplace. So are you adding value? You know, I saw a coach the other day post a picture and she made a latte at home. She said, oh, this is a healthy version of the latte. But she didn't include the recipe there. So how's anybody going to make it? So don't just post a photo of you drinking your Shakeology or drinking a healthy latte. Include the recipe and how you made it. That's adding value. And then don't post and run. And I'm still really guilty of this, but you have to think of the Facebook algorithm. So when you post something, Facebook only pushes it out to a small percentage of your friends. And they wait to see if anybody engages with that photo, likes it, or comments on it. So if people are commenting on it, you want to jump in and respond to them right away so that Facebook is like, yeah, that's a great post. We're going to keep pushing it out. But if it's just crickets, then Facebook's not going to push it out and nobody's going to see it. But this is still hard, especially if you work. Like I'll be at work and I'm like, well, I can't respond to that. But if it's a challenge group post or a coaching opportunity post, then I really make sure that I'm responding rather quickly. And then Katie Ersta, she's like my idol. She came up with this acronym CLASSY. And so every time you post, your post should be doing one of these things. And I share this, like have it hung up right near my desk. There should be a call to action. There should be a moral to the story. It should be authentic, like your real raw self. You should be sharing, not selling. You should be people, there has to be a so what factor, and you have to believe that matters. So I'm sure you've seen this or heard of it, but I had to bring it up again because it's kind of what I live by and post by. All right, so here are some visual examples of what I've been talking about. So here are my morning workouts or posts. So on the left, this was one from the other day, and I said, I'm getting chiseled and preparing for labor at the same time. But I always try to have a moral to that story because I hate working out, and I'm kind of known for that. I hate cardio. I hate working out. So I'm always posting about I don't want to do this, but the pain and beauty of discipline. Like I know I need to. And people always tell me that that's what they respect most, that I'm not fake about, yes, I can't wait to do my workout. They always say, I love how real you are, that you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway, and you inspire me. On the right is my Shakeology bowl that I made the other day. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to drink my food. I like to eat it. So here's a way that you can eat it. I made this and I included the recipe in the post so they could see what I included. So here are a few examples of my afternoon posts. So on the right-hand side, you'll see challenge group invites. I have found that I have better success with simple posts if it's just a picture of me with a few words on it. If I go into PicMonkey and make these elaborate images that say, join me for 30 days of coaching and portion control and shakes and all this crazy stuff, people don't like it because it comes off as too salesy. So I put that information in the text of my post, but not in the image. And that seems to work out. And it's a time saver. Like I don't spend a lot of time. I made those on my phone. So you see that all of my designs are pretty simple. I'm not spending a lot of time or effort making these elaborate images. And then evening, there's a dinner post and there's me and my dog. So again, I don't put a lot of time into those evening posts, but I typically post 3 times per day, and you know exactly what I'm posting. And I have it all written out on my calendar too, so as soon as I post, I cross it off my list because I'm one of those task-oriented do persons. Okay. You've seen a few of my food photos, and I think this is what I'm most known for. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, your food photos look like they're out of a magazine. And I follow all these Beachbody coaches, and their photos don't look anything like yours. So I'm going to share with you my secret tips for how to make food look good. And I think this is important. So these are all food photos that are mine, and I don't put a lot of time into this, but it's important that they look good. And here's why. So my family, they're not healthy eaters. My friends, they're not healthy eaters. So if I'm going to attract them to this lifestyle, I need to wow them. They need to see my food photos and be like, oh, that looks amazing. I would try that. I want to eat that. But if I'm just posting pictures of like bland grilled chicken and brown rice, they're not going to want to join me. They're going to be like, oh, being healthy sucks. Like, I don't want to do that. So I have so many people that come to me because they want my meal prepping and meal planning assistance. So most of my challengers want help with the meals. They want new recipes, they want to know how to meal plan, etc. And so I like that. Those are the kind of people I want to attract. That's the kind of knowledge I want to share, because as I said, not into the workout side, but I do it. So when I take my photos, I make sure that I have a lot of lighting. I turn on all my lights, I open my blinds, and I make sure that the food looks good on the plate. You just don't want to slop it on there. Make it look pretty. And then here's how I actually edit the photo. So there are lots of apps out there that you can use, but this is my go-to app, Photo Editor. So download it, it's free. And here's my trick. So I take the photo, and then I go to my app and I select that photo. And at the bottom, I hit Enhance. And then within Enhance, there's a food option. I click on food and boom, it immediately makes any food photo look gorgeous off the bat. So then I just hit apply. Now, depending on the lighting, you might have to increase the brightness. So then I'll go to lighting and increase the brightness. And that seems to help, but you might not have to do that depending on your natural lighting. But that's what I do. And here's a before and after photo. So that was the before on the left, and here's the edited one on the right. And you'll see it's not a huge difference. So it's not like I'm scamming people. It's not like I'm eating this like gross looking food, but posting this beautiful photo. The one on the right, it just pops. The colors are more intense. It's a little bit brighter. It's a little more appetizing. So I always tell people, if you're going to post a food photo, make it look good. Don't just post any old food photo. Okay. Next is sharing the coaching opportunity, because a lot of people are like, I don't know how to do this. I need help with this. And I learned this from another coach, and I think I've been doing a good job with this, and I'm pretty good at recruiting coaches. So you want to post about coaching frequently. And I think the number one mistake that coaches make is they do this once a month. So once a month, they'll say, join my sneak peek group, or come to my business opportunity call, or come to my open house. And it's crickets, because they're blindsiding their audience. Their audience doesn't know that they're a coach or what coaching entails. And so they're just like, what is this girl or guy posting about? But when you're sprinkling it in throughout the month and showing people what coaching is doing for you, when you then make that invite to learn more, they're like, oh, well, she's so happy and she has this extra money and look how fit she is. I would like to learn more about this. So if you're a new coach and you're like, well, I'm not making a ton of money, like, what am I going to share? You need to think of those three transformations. Physical, are you more accountable now that you're a coach? Emotional, do you feel more fulfilled and rewarded? Financial, don't wait until you're in the Millionaires Club to be like, woohoo, coaching is the best thing ever. I have been very intentional about sharing my income growth since I became a coach, from that first like $32 paycheck to now. And that has really helped. And now I'm at a point where I'm saying I matched my salary in 11 months. Like, how exciting is that? So here are a few examples of how I kind of sprinkle this in throughout the month. This picture, I wanted to buy this really fancy stroller, and everyone's like, you're insane. Why would you spend that much money on a stroller? And I was like, well, 2 weeks of Beachbody money pays for the stroller in cash. So I'm not worried about it. And as soon as I posted this, 2 women reached out to me and said, I want to know more about coaching. On the left, that is an example of me saying, I never understood why people would work on the weekends. And now it's Saturday and I can't wait to spend the day checking in with my coaches and challengers. And then on the right is me saying how I can't wait to reward my coaches for their achievements so that they know there's a community, there's recognition, that they are going to matter. There's a community that they can belong to. And those posts performed pretty well as well. All right, the like page. I'm still working on this, but I'm going to share with you what I've learned through all the webinars and trainings that I've been attending recently. So you should be investing 10% of your earnings back into your business. So this may be professional photos or gifts for your team, but I also use a chunk of this to promote my page. And I do that very intentionally. You want to think about your niche audience. Who do you really want to attract? Because quality is more important than quantity. Yes, you want to have a lot of likes so that you seem legit, but you don't want all of these people that aren't really in your market. So you want quality fans more so than a quantity of fans. And then once people like your page, stalk them and see if they'd make ideal prospects and friend request them through your personal page. And then don't just boost posts that talk about coaching or challenge groups. Boost posts that represent your style and personality. So on the right, that's one that I boosted for $5 for one day, and it got a ton of likes, a ton of shares, and my page got a ton of likes in return. So that's a quick little tip. And then post often. So I think the Facebook like page is a slow grow. You're not going to see immediate benefit from it. And what a lot of coaches do is they post on it sporadically, and then they're like, well, this isn't working out for me. And I'll go check their page, and there's like nothing there. So if you had two businesses that you were considering, and you looked at the one business and they had this phenomenal website with all of this content and all of these reviews, and then you looked at the other one and they had nothing, you're probably going to go with the one who's legit, who has all of that content. So think of that as your Facebook like page. You have to be building it and building that content so that when people come to you, they're like, oh, okay, she's been around, she has some info to share. And then here's the visual representation of the two, how I vary my posts in the morning. So on the left, I try to always get a picture of me and my husband for my personal page. And then on my like page, I try to always do one of the moves from the workout and make it look fun. And it only takes a few extra seconds to take that second picture, but you don't have to do that. A lot of people just post exactly the same information on both pages. I'm just trying to vary it a little bit. Okay, Instagram. Number one, put the hashtags in the comments, especially if you are sharing from Instagram to Facebook. People on Facebook don't like hashtags, so they don't want to see a ton of hashtags. So when you make a post on Instagram, you can put a few hashtags in your post, in your content, 2 or 3, maybe 4, ones that are really relevant and funny that people will want to see. Any additional ones, post to Instagram and then immediately comment on your own photo with all of the hashtags. And so in my notes on my phone, I have a notepad full of hashtags that are grouped. So I have all of the hashtags that I use for my morning workouts, all of the hashtags that I use for my food photos, all of the hashtags that I use for pictures of my pugs. And so I'm not spending the morning typing in all of these hashtags. I just go to my notes, copy that whole group of hashtags, go to Instagram, click on comments, paste all of them in there, boom, done. Avoid general hashtags, just cute, funny, like, love. That's not going to attract anyone. And avoid Beachbody hashtags as well, like 21 Day Fix, Shakeology, Beachbody, because you're only attracting other Beachbody people. So you want to look at your ideal market. Find someone who you think would be an ideal coach or an ideal challenger and look at what hashtags they are using. And then be very specific with your own hashtags. So like I use fit pregnancy and healthy pregnancy and, pug hashtags and, get in my belly and those kind of funny ones. Make sure you respond to comments so that they know you're a real person and not a robot. But you'll see that there are a lot of automated comments in Instagram now. They're like super nice. I don't respond to those because I know that's just a computer doing that. And then here is another secret that I love to use. This is the Instack app. So I hate when I'm on Instagram and I'm like, yes, I got 5 new followers today. And then the next day I go and I'm like down 7 followers and I'm like, where'd they go? And you can't figure out who unfollowed you. And you're like, oh, this app will show you exactly who unfollowed you. So then you can unfollow them too. So I do this every night while I'm in bed before I go to sleep. I see, okay, who unfollowed me today? And then I unfollow them. But now I've caught on. There's some sneaky people. So if someone follows you, look at how many followers they have compared to how many people they're following. So if you see someone who has like 60,000 followers, but they're only following 200 people, chances are they're going to follow you. And then the next day, once you follow them, they'll unfollow you. And that's how they build so many followers. So at this point, if someone has a ton of followers and they're not following a lot of people, I don't even bother because I know they're going to unfollow me. But use this app if you want to kind of keep that level. Pinterest, I'm almost done. Okay, so Pinterest, and if you don't have all of these, that's fine. I already had all of these platforms, and it's just a matter of me transitioning them to business. So I've been studying this a lot to try to figure out, okay, how do I become really effective with all these platforms? But if you're just starting, just focus on one. You don't have to do all of these. So on Pinterest, you can have a business page or business account. So I briefly mentioned this at the 3 Vitals behavior, and I was shocked by how many people came up to me afterwards and were like, what do you mean by promoted pins? They had never heard of this. So this is something new that Pinterest launched, I think in the spring, and it's now just really picking up. So if you Google promoted Pinterest pins, it'll walk you through how to convert your personal Pinterest to a business Pinterest. So you want to do that, but you have to have a website or a blog in order to do this. So if you don't have a website or blog, you can't convert it to a business page. So under my name, I have my website. I'm verified. I have it linked to Facebook. I have it linked to Twitter, even though I don't really use Twitter. I have a very specific description of who I am. And then what you want to do is your 5 to 10 boards that really represent you, your style, your personality, your business. You want those to be at the top. So put those first and make sure that they have very specific titles. So you don't want to title them My Favorite Things because SEO. So nobody's going to go to Google and type in My Favorite Things. They're going to go and type in healthy recipes or nursery decor or 21-day fix tools or ideas. And so these things will pop up. So you want to be very specific with your titles and you want to make them very visually appealing. And then these first, kind of like the first 4 boards you see there, those are all my original content, and that's every pin there is linked back to my blog. So when someone clicks on it, it takes them to my blog. For promoted pins, you have to have the business account, and there is a wait list. It took me about a month to get off that wait list. But here's what I did. I made this image about how I'm hiring teachers, and I promoted that on Pinterest for $20 for, I think, 2 days. When people clicked on that pin, it took them to a blog I had written about teachers as coaches. And at the bottom of that blog post, I had a button where if they clicked on it, it took them to my sneak peek group on Facebook and they could request to join. So when I did this, I got 8 people to request to join that sneak peek group, and one of them became a coach, and I'm still in contact with 3 of them who I think are probably going to be coaches. And I just did it again this month, and I have one girl who's already signing up, and we're in the middle of the sneak peek group, and that was from a promoted pin. And I only spent $10 and promoted it, I think, for 1 day. So it's something to try. I'm still kind of playing around with it, but it's a new avenue. You know, Facebook seems to be kind of overwhelmed right now, but Pinterest is something new and cool, so you can have promoted pins. Okay, I know you had a whole training on blogging, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to say that blogging is important, and it has helped. It is time consuming, and I sometimes struggle to be consistent with it because I focus on so many other things. But whenever I do blog, which I do 2 times a week, sometimes 3, I immediately share it to Facebook, both pages. And then I also share it to Instagram. So in Instagram, you can't put the link in the content. I mean, you can, but people can't click on it. So I go to URL shortener and I shorten the link and I put it in my bio. And then I post an image from my blog to Instagram. And I say, check out my all natural tips for avoiding stretch marks, link in my bio. So when they go to my bio, they can click on that link and it will take them directly to that blog post. I pin everything to Pinterest. So I have a widget on my blog where that little pin it button comes up over every image, and I pin every single image to Pinterest, and it's automatically linked back to my blog. And as I said, I don't really use Twitter, but the beauty of Twitter is that you could post the same link like 10, 15 times a day, and nobody would know or get tired of it. So if you're on Twitter, you just have to put it out there a lot. And my old blog posts, I'm always scheduling them to my Facebook like page. So those are always being reused. And this is great. You know, I wrote one on Shakeology and pregnancy, and I can't tell you how many people have asked me about drinking Shakeology while pregnant in the past month. And rather than me sitting there typing this message to them, I just send them the blog link, and I'm like, here, read this. And I have all of these different blogs on coaching. So every single month, I write a blog post on my challenge group that's starting. And every single month, I write a blog post on coaching. So now I have this whole log so that when someone's considering it, I could be like, oh, well, this one would be really good for them to read, or this one would be really good. So I have that, and it saves me some time. So yes, it's a lot of work at the front, but now I'm able to reuse them, and it's great. All right, this is my website. Just wanted to share that with you. So you'll see I'm very consistent with my colors. All of my info is there. My husband is a web developer, so he kind of designed this for me, and he has done a bunch of websites for the coaches on my team at a very, very discounted rate. So if you are looking for a website or a blog, he can help you out, and he'll give you the discounted rate too. So no worries. So if you're interested in that, you need some help. Someone today was like, Ashley, what do you think I should invest in for my business in 2016? And I said, a blog or a website, because eventually it could just pay for itself and generate income on its own. It's a slow grow, but it's worth it. So if you need some help with that, you can send me a message and I'll put you in touch with my husband. But okay, that's all I have. I hope I didn't take up too much time or talk too fast. Do you have any questions? I've been ignoring the chat pod.
That was awesome. Girl, I loved it.
Thank you.
And I do love your blog, by the way. I love how the pictures are lined up. Like, you do your pictures so simple, but they're like so eye-catching. They really are. I love it.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
The time for my planning. For planning the content for my social media, I would say less than an hour.
Anybody else? How do you schedule from one to the other?
I know some people like use Hootsuite or Buffer to schedule posts to their personal profiles, and I do not recommend that at all. I use Hootsuite to schedule or to post to my challenge groups, sneak peek groups, coach training groups. But for personal social media, you don't want to have anything scheduled like that. So for my personal page, I almost always post to Instagram, and I have it connected to Facebook. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. I go to Instagram, I post it, it goes to Facebook. And then on my Facebook like page, I go to publishing tools and schedule, and I schedule everything there. No, for Instrac, you don't have to pay for anything. I mean, you have to pay if you want like the advanced features, but if you just want to see who's following you and who's not following you, it's free.
Ashley, how about I use Pinterest? I'm actually starting to get a lot of traction on my Pinterest. I do not have a business account. I'm like, that is my next thing. I'm excited about that. I'm going to convert it. I did not know how to convert it because I know there were some people who had the option that it just came to them. Do you want to convert this to a business? And I never had that. So I had no, I thought it was a waiting list like there was before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
promote it. Yeah. I'm excited to do that. I like it.
I don't recommend Hootsuite for your personal page because it doesn't come off as authentic, right? People see that it's posted from Hootsuite, and it's kind of like, okay, well, why is she scheduling that? And I think I'm pretty sure I've heard in a training that kind of engagement goes down. And Facebook, I think, doesn't push those posts out that are pre-scheduled. Am I correct, Deidre? Have you heard that?
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell that it is not you. I mean, it is you, but you can tell that it's not at that right time. Like it's pre-scheduled. I did use it for my challenge groups though. I don't anymore just because I'm available to do it. But if you are going to do it for your challenge groups or your coach trainings, if you're going to need to use it. Ashley, do you have Blogger or is it WordPress?
I actually started with WordPress, but I found it to be too limiting because I wanted to have more pages. So I used Squarespace. And I highly recommend Squarespace because you can really customize it.
Okay. Now, if someone has like Blogger though, your husband's still able to customize?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he can customize and work with any blog. He develops websites for a living.
That's awesome. How about that? Put them to use.
I do. Yes, you can export WordPress to Squarespace. That's what we did with mine. All right, well, Deidre, I'll send you this PowerPoint and you can share it with everyone. And if you guys have any questions, reach out to me at any time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was amazing. You did
Thank
great.
you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you for getting on, and I hope you have a great night. See ya.